Wait. No.
I think it'd be safe to say that the only costume we think of whenever we think of Halloween now is Ghostface. Yes, the mastermind murderer. At this point, it's not just a person in a Halloween costume, it's a persona. It's the fear that you feel when you receive a call from an unknown number and you're home alone. The reason why Ghostface is so appealing and scary is because it's not a ghost, it's a human. A human who thinks hunting someone is fun. A human who is willing to play games, a hunter who is giving his prey a head start, a predator who is playing with its food. In this video, we're going to talk about whether or not Ghostface from Scream is the smartest slasher villain, so buckle up Buttercup since it's going to be a bumpy ride. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means an awful lot. Thank you, and let's begin. The Ghostface Persona, a mask worn by masterminds. Over the years, many of the antagonists in the franchise have used the Ghostface mask as a way to hide their identity. The scary part is that it has always been such a common Halloween costume that how do you even figure out who the murderer is? Practically speaking, thousands of people buy that costume, and if someone were to do something like this, it would be hard to find the culprit. This is the reason why Ghostface has become such a classic horror movie villain over the years, with at least 14 people using the mask to conceal their identity. 19 if we count the TV series, and 20 if we count the stab films. What makes Ghostface enthralling yet frightening is that it's not just a normal horror movie poltergeist or demon that people aren't even sure exists. It's a killer. It's bone-chilling because it's possible, it's real, and it can happen to absolutely anyone. So regardless of who's behind the mask, both in the movies and the third season, Ghostface is voiced by Roger L. Jackson, who also has played the Green Goblin and the Lizard in Spider-Man Friend or Foe. Ghostface's classic look is a black hooded robe that makes him look like a Dementor from Harry Potter. His robe is wispy and kinda ragged, which makes it look even more creepy. The robe hangs loosely on the body, making it look more like a figure instead of a person. And of course, everybody has seen the classic white Ghostface mask at some point or another. The mask looks like a ghostly face that was once human, with dark and hollow eyes, a long nose, and gaping mouth that looks like it's screaming. The black and white figure creates such a weird and eerie feeling that it truly seems menacing. If that isn't horrifying enough, Ghostface always holds a knife in a very threatening manner. In Scream 6, Ghostface still looks the same, but there are some more distinctive changes. The robe stays the same, but the white mask looks more distressed, giving off the vibe of a more aged and menacing look. Initially, Billy Loomis, along with Stu Macher, created the identity to kill Sidney because of her mother's affair with Billy's father, Hank, which makes his mother leave after a short killing spree in the fictional Woodsboro. However, this doesn't mean that Ghostface is just one person, as the changing identity of the person behind the mask means that Ghostface doesn't just manifest itself for one motivation, but rather a range of motivations that could be anything, from peer pressure to revenge to just becoming famous or rather infamous. There is, however, a commonality shared by all the killers. Their goal is to kill Sidney Prescott and later Samantha Carpenter, but they all connect to an event that was indirectly caused by Sidney's mother, Maureen. In the Scream universe, anyone can easily get the costume, which allows other people to wear a similar outfit. Ghostface often makes phone calls, taunting his targets, playing mind games, and threatening them to create a sense of paranoia. Most of the time, Ghostface, even though human, showcases extreme durability against weapons like knives and guns. They aren't easily physically harmed, and they have more strength than the average human, capable of defeating a person far bigger than them. They have incredible stealth ability that almost seems unreal. Ghostface has slashed its way into popular culture, haunting films, TV shows, and an array of merchandise, immortalizing its legacy. The infamous mask, crafted in the early 90s by the Fun World's Brigitte Slatern, was part of the Fantastic Faces collection. It wasn't until the late 90s that R.J. Torbert officially named it Ghostface. The mask has since become synonymous with terror, even earning the chilling title of the icon of Halloween during the build-up to Scream 4. Its presence is not just on screen but etched into nightmares, forever lurking in the shadows. The art of deception, Ghostface's ability to manipulate victims. Unlike the supernatural forces of Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, or Freddy Krueger, Ghostface is flesh and bone, a human being. But that makes him all the more terrifying. His mastery of stealth and cunning allows him to vanish into thin air, lurking and hiding in the darkest corners where you least expect him to. In Scream 2, Ghostface outmatched two of Chief Hartley's best officers, slicing through them with brutal efficiency. No matter the size or strength of his victims, Ghostface's knife finds its mark, as it did with Cotton Weary and his bodyguard in Scream 3. He doesn't just kill, he anticipates. His awareness is chilling, knowing where his prey will hide or flee before they even make a move. As seen in Scream 2, he has an unsettling knack for exploiting the smallest vulnerabilities, like stabbing through a bathroom stall wall into a victim's skull, as if he can somehow sense exactly where their victim is going to place their head on the wall of the stall. Ghostface is more than a mindless slasher. He's calculative. His attacks are fast, his knife sharp enough to slice through doors, but beneath the terror is a sinister playfulness. He isn't invincible, yet he always gets back up, his knife gleaming, blood smeared across his glove in a sick, ritualistic wipe. Though they are human, each Ghostface is a twisted horror movie fanatic, drawing inspiration from the slasher films they obsess over. But even the most skilled killer has their limits. The mask doesn't protect their face, and their black robes can trip them up, making them vulnerable to a lucky, slobby strike from their victims. Their knowledge of horror movies is vast, but real life is messier. Sometimes doors and fridges slam in their face, and sometimes they stumble during chases. Still, even when they fall, they rise again. As Billy, Mickey, Roman, Jill, Amber, and Ethan have all proven, Ghostface doesn't stay down for long. They always come back for one final scare, wiping that blade clean, and soon the hollow eyes of Ghostface meet their victims' eyes. Get the Ghostface versus other slashers. Intelligence over brute force. What makes Ghostface is not the brute force or direct scaring tactics that he uses, it's the fact that it's not a single person. It is an idea. Where most of the franchise characters have to reinvent the villain over and over again, all Ghostface has to do is pass on the costume to a different person. Each Scream movie features a different killer or killers behind a mask, giving Ghostface a fresh twist every time. This dynamic brings unpredictability because Ghostface could be anyone, your friend, your neighbor, or even your partner. Unlike many slashers who rely on brute strength, Ghostface uses intelligence, manipulation, and technology. They love to toy with their victims, often through creepy phone calls. The most famous of these dialogues is, "What is your favorite scary movie?" Before the killing starts, the psychological terror builds suspense in a way that's more personal and relatable than other horror icons who just silently stalk their prey. What really sets Ghostface apart is their vulnerability. They trip, they fall, they bleed. They're not supernatural entities. They're regular people with a plan. That element of mortality makes the chase scenes more intense because there's always a chance for the final girl to fight back and win. Ghostface brings a level of mastery and realism to the slasher genre that keeps us coming back for more. I see something red. The strategic killers behind the mask. In the Scream franchise, there isn't just one killer behind the mask or even behind the attacks or the murders, so the real question are, who killed who called who, or who attacked who? The Scream franchise has introduced us to some of the most cunning and intelligent killers in horror history. Let's start with Billy Loomis from the original Scream in 1996. Billy's motive? Revenge. He was fueled by his mother abandoning him after his father's affair with Sidney Prescott's mom. But what makes Billy truly dangerous is how smart he is about executing his plans. Billy cleverly manipulates his best friend Stu Macker into becoming his partner in crime, creating a double Ghostface that throws off suspicion. He frames Sidney's father for the murders, making it look like he snapped and went on a killing spree. Billy even maintains the role of the grieving boyfriend flawlessly, playing Sidney like a literal puppet until the climax. Fast forward to Scream 4 and we meet Jill Roberts, Sidney's own cousin, who takes things to another level of manipulation. Jill's goal is a little different than Billy's fame. She wants to be the new Sidney, but the way she goes about it is brilliant and absolutely maniacal. In the age of social media, Jill understands how to use public perception. She stages her own near-death experience, even going as far as hurting herself to appear as a victim. Basically, her plan is to survive the massacre, become a hero, and live in the spotlight. Jill's entire strategy is built on not just avoiding suspicion, but becoming the media's favorite survivor. Like, sure, that's normal. What makes these Ghostface killers stand out is their intelligence. Billy Ellie and Jill didn't just want to kill, they wanted control. They had long-term goals, manipulating friends, family, and even the media to create chaos while keeping themselves out of suspicion. How Ghostface keeps audiences guessing, meta horror, and breaking rules. Ghostface isn't just your usual slasher villain. Sure, there's the mask, the knife, and the chase, but what truly sets Ghostface apart is how the Scream franchise keeps the audience guessing. It's more than just scares. The series plays with the very rules of horror, breaking the mold and delivering twists that leave us on edge. The Scream films are a perfect example of meta horror. The characters are aware they're in a horror movie, discussing the classic rules like never say I'll be right back and don't drink. But here's the thing, Ghostface constantly subverts these rules. Even with the audience knowing everything that they think can happen, the killer still manages to surprise both the characters and the audience. What's clever about Ghostface isn't just the planning inside the story, it's how the Scream franchise plays with our expectations. Traditional horror killers tend to follow predictable patterns, but Ghostface is always evolving, adapting to the situations and staying one step ahead of both the victims and us. Each Scream film reinvents the slasher genre by challenging the tropes we expect. Ghostface's identity and motives are always a mystery, and that unpredictability adds a layer of cleverness that keeps us hooked. Just when we think we've figured it out, the franchise flips the script, making Ghostface an adaptable and intelligent villain across multiple films and making us the moths that still got drawn to the flames by thinking we predicted the movie storyline. Marvelous verdict. What the Scream franchise has managed to achieve is definitely a difficult thing to achieve, as it's like playing with fire. But Scream has managed to execute this successfully and has created a great fan following. It's become the classic horror movie that every 90s kid has watched and every 80s parent has made their kids watch. From all the unpredictability that these films have packed in them, you're truly missing out if you haven't watched the film yet. And if anyone you know has not watched this movie, this could be the perfect opportunity for a spooky season movie night and a practical joke that involves a Ghostface mask. Well, that's it for this video. We hope you enjoyed this marvelous video on Ghostface. And as always, if you like our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.